Leader Class Blitzwing from Transformers Legacy is a very weird figure, not least of which because it comes with these two giant purple clear plastic thingies. But it does have a lot of accessories. It comes with the two giant Energon gauntlets, it comes with two different blasters, and it comes with his sword. This sword is the same sword, or I should say the same model of sword, that his original Generation 1 figure came with. I don't think it was ever used in the show. I don't remember. Anywho, let's get these accessories off really quick. The tank mode for Blitzwing is G1 animation spot on. I cannot argue with the tank mode at all. I think it works well, even if it has a cockpit sticking off the front. That is Generation 1 animation accurate, even if it is really weird. Now, a quick note that this figure, the original one, especially the G1 character, was actually wrong. See, the original box art had the figure kind of like this, and this is the animation that it went off of. But originally, the Takara instructions have the rear, or what we now call, or know as the rear, as being the front of the tank mode. You know, the thrusters, that section. So, yeah, just a little bit of a translation error. Same thing with Rumble and Frenzy. Translation errors happen. It was the 80s, after all. I cannot argue with this tank mode. It looks fantastic. Yeah, I know I keep saying that. I mean, look at all the molding we've got going on here on the sides and all the vents. And yes, most tanks don't have jet thrusters hanging off of that. I'm aware of that. But you've got all these different vents, all this different molding. Even the turret looks really good. It's just a solid tank mode. And it is definitely the better of the two modes for this figure. Now, contrast Blitzwing's mode with Astrotrain's Choo-Choo mode. You can see that they're roughly the same length. Kinda. It's really weird. For Blitzwing, the tank mode is definitely the better of the two, or I should say two vehicle modes, while Astrotrain's train mode is the one that suffers, even though it is a pretty okay train mode, if not a little bit weird. The tank mode, yeah, Blitzwing's tank mode is definitely better in this case. And the barrel, yeah, it can look almost all the way up. That's really nice, and just overall is cool, even if you can see a tiny little robot head in there. Now, the thrusters in the front is something that the Titans Return figure nailed. You see? Thrusters in the front. But I don't think the tank mode for the Titans Return figure is nearly as good as what we ended up here with in Legacy. And yes, I realize I have the Titans Return figure slightly mistransformed. I was in a hurry, sorry. Anyway, I think they both look good, but I'm more partial to the Legacy one. Alright, it's transformation time. Plane mode first. Well, it's technically a plane, that's for sure. Oh my word, this is not very good. It's literally the G1 MiG plane that he transforms to with the tank hanging off the bottom. The G1 figure did it better. Animated did it better. A lot of third parties are doing it better. This obviously is just a sacrificial lamb for the other two modes. That's not being totally fair because the Titans Returns figure doesn't fare much better. I think it works a little better. It is a little cleaner. It's not nearly as, well, what can I say? Neither of these modes pull this off very well. Now our little tank plane can mount the accessories. You've got a couple of ports here at the top That doesn't work very well, so do it on the side. So you can put the guns up there. Haven't really found the best place for the sword other than maybe the turret under the bottom, but that's going to throw off the entire balance of the figure. So maybe on the sides like that. And then remember those giant mortar cannons that we talked about earlier? These things? Well, you push the inside cannons out, or at least try to pull them out. Good luck either way. And they'll form some big old Energon Hulk hands. You pop those out, turn them around, and then peg them in, and yeah, that's real stupid. In this specific use, come back to the thrusters, grab the bottom of the thrusters, and fold them down. And hey, we got some pegs in there. That will then enable us to peg in the thrusters, or the Hulk hands, along the back of the vehicle mode. Like, come on, get in there. Like this. And then we have Hulk hand blaster things. I mean, seriously, what is going on here? Oh, it's so bad, but there is one thing that I do like, and then you put the hands or fingers up like that, and you've got literal vertical takeoff. No landing, definitely takeoff. And using this method, it's even bigger than Astrotrain. And speaking of Astrotrain, you could see Astrotrain is right here, Siege Astrotrain. And yeah, even though this alt mode is Astrotrain's preferred, at least for me, alt mode, it's still feels smaller than Blitzwing, especially with these Hulk hands off the back. If you take them off, however, so we'll just pop them off if I can actually get them unpegged. It still feels smaller because, well, everything else on Astrotrain is much more proportioned than what we have going on here with Blitzwing. I mean, look at that thing. At least Astrotrain looks like a space shuttle. Blitzwing looks like a plane with a tank stuck on the bottom. I've said that already, haven't I? Before we get into the transformation, I realized I goofed something. There are these little winglets that I had the guns pegged into. They're supposed to flip over so you have a more complete jet on the top of the vehicle mode. Considering all the junk in the trunk down here, it doesn't really help much. To start the transformation, we're going to take those little winglets and fold them up like that. And then we're going to come into the base of the alt mode and unpeg the turret and unpeg the tank treads. And then that will allow us to reach into the back and unpeg the entire top of the vehicle mode like that. And it'll swing down. We'll get to that part in just a sec. Grab the bottom parts that are obviously arms and swing them up. Okay, now let's come back down to the bottom here. First, fold up the landing gear, unpeg this purple section, come to the front of the nose cone, and we want to open this up so we can then fold the nose cone back into the body. And I always goof on how to do this. I think it's... there we go. It's the bottom, not the top, that lifts up. Get that nose cone in there, open up that one section that will form the chest, flip the robot head around, and then close it back up. And we want to make sure it's lined up correctly. Coming down to the legs, turn the figure around and get these knees folded all the way out and snapped into place. Come down to the thrusters and flip the thrusters out. And when you do that, you're going to move these little silver wings. So just be aware of that. Unpeg the legs, fold the wings in and around, and they will peg in all over the place. So they'll peg in on the side, down here, on the back, up here, and then in the inside. Though the inside's a little bit looser. And remember what I said earlier about taking that whole entire top section and bringing it up and over, bringing it down over the chest and snap it into place. This will give us the nice big old backpack that our Blitzy boy was known for. And I just like to leave the treads like so. Then come down to the arms. They've got this little swing out. Grab these shoulder sections and swing them around. That will allow you to flip that whole bottom section around. Fold out the fists, which a little harder than you might think. And then that tan section will fold up over the open forearm. So do that on the other side. That around, flip it around, fold out the fist, and flip that up. Unfortunately, it doesn't really peg into place, which is a shame. And collapse the backpack down, and we'll be done. A quick size comparison with a variety of figures. We've got Legacy Override, Siege Soundwave, Legacy Vanboy, Studio Series Optimus Prime, Siege Optimus Prime, Leader Legacy Megatron. And here's a size comparison with Titan's Return Blitzwing. You can see that there is a definite size difference. The Titan's Returns Blitzwing is much taller, and I think it might actually pull off some of the colors a little bit better, though the new Blitzwing has much more silver as opposed to the gray plastic here on Titan's Returns. But I can't argue. I like them both. I think they're both fun figures and interesting in their own way. And I'm sorry, I don't get the Hulk hands. I just don't. I don't understand what they're for. I don't understand why they're here. What else are they for other than Blitzwing looking really, really stupid? I mean, does he actually need these things to take care of an Autobrat? I mean, look at that. I don't get it. I just do not get it. I think the budget for the figure could have been used for something else other than this. I mean, they don't even have any other purpose. Unless they were to go with the Energon monster that we heard about from earlier in the year. But even then, why? The only thing that this is even close to were Bruticus's from Transformers Energon's hands. And even then, it's the wrong color. As you've already seen, posability for the figure is pretty good. Head is on a ball joint and can look up that much and look down, and then every ball joint is a swivel. There is shoulder articulation, but these big shoulder pads get in the way, so shoulder is limited, unfortunately, but there is a double swivel at the, swivel at the shoulder, swivel at the upper arm, bend at the elbow, fists do swivel. There is torso articulation. Legs can kick forward thanks to the skirt armor getting out of the way. Legs can kick out only about that much. Thigh swivel is present. Bend at the knee is over 90 degrees. However, both of my knees are a little bit too loose for my liking. And there is ankle pivot. Dang, that's a lot of ankle pivot. I shouldn't be surprised at that, but every time I pick up a figure and think, oh, well, how does that? Oh, that's 90 degrees. Okay. So, yeah, he would be able to do a beautiful spread if his legs went out a little farther. The biggest issue I have with Blitzwing are the knees. The knees on mine are just way too loose. I have to figure out how to tighten them. I have tried tightening the screws on the knees. That doesn't do anything. They're as tight as they're going to get. So maybe I just need to disassemble the knee, introduce some friction. Otherwise, I don't really have a problem with the figure other than the jet mode sucks. Oh, and these stupid things. I don't get it. I don't get it. If you can explain it to me, let me know down in the comments, because this is just weird. So should Blitzwing be part of your collection? I don't know. I really don't know. I do like it. I'm glad I own it. I'm glad Astrotrain has a buddy. But it's a bit of a mixed bag. At the end of the day, I do like the Goon Squad. I do. I legitimately do. I do wish Astrotrain didn't suffer from the from the smuts that's on him, or in other spots of him. But it's a decent figure. And so is Blitzwing, even though they both suffer from one of their modes being horribly compromised. That's just the nature of the beast. We're not talking about masterpiece level figures here, nor are we talking about third-party levels. Though this does beg the question, how is New Age and Iron Factory able to pull off superior figures and superior transformations at such a smaller size class? That's a real food for thought. Anyway, folks, this has been my review of Transformers Legacy Blitzwing. Please let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments. Did I get anything wrong, or is there any other changes you would like to see done to this figure? Thank you so much for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I will catch you all next time.